Oh, forgot I had my headphones on. You guys caught me tripping there. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the first stream. We'll see who shows up. Sorry, it's not the best webcam, but we work with what we got when we got it. Share the thing. Is my audio being picked up? Do not think it is. Hello! Oh, okay, yeah. We're getting picked up. You guys have to let me know if it's a little quiet. Let us share the link on Social Galactic. No offense to Social Galactic, but we're all a bit of old fogies there. I gotta find another place to share that makes more sense since we're trying to catch some of the young folks. And of course, my phone goes off when I'm starting the first stream in a while. I have to thank you guys' support already. It was great. Really appreciate it. It's gonna help me get some content out. You guys want to see the dog before we get started? We'll be doing a nice Sunday school thing. We'll be talking about idolatry. Might not seem like the best first thing for newbies, but trust me, it's very important. You gotta clear out all those symbols of the enemy and things you might not have thought of as important, and you don't know what you're letting in when you just let that stuff fester. And symbols and stuff, it doesn't seem important, but we'll get into it. It's like an open door. It's an invitation. It's a welcome mat. Like, oh, you got my face on your house. I can come in here, kind of thing. Rosie, come here. Yes. This is a puppy. Everyone say hi to Rosie. You haven't seen her yet. Yes. Very good dog. Now I'm just going to mess around for a little bit talking about things. Maybe a little bit of what we'll do with the channel and whatnot. I've done a lot of live streams in the past. I actually unlisted a bunch of them just so I didn't get easy not copyright strikes, but you get strikes on the channel for stupid stuff. I got one strike once, and it's not for what you would think. Oh, I had some spicy stuff, let me tell you. But the one that got me a strike was I was hinting that gang stalking was real. And that was during the 2016 elections. That was when was it? The second one with Trump. 20 election? Time. What is time in the modern era? That was funny. That one surprised me. It wasn't racism. It wasn't hinting at certain things about immigration. No. It was the one saying that the government hires people to follow you, which is funny because they have entire organizations for that. But, so that's not what we're here to talk about. I don't know if anyone's going to show up for this first one. It's the funny thing about live streams. You got to put in the hours, and then people will eventually show up, and then YouTube throttles you, and you're not able to get anyone. But it's more important that there is a place that you guys can do some questions and whatnot. I think I want to add a written element to all of this, so you readers out there, we can get some of the reading crowd into it. I have a Substack already. I think I will hijack it for this, so I don't have to make a new Substack. And yeah, my wife will probably join us here after she feeds the kids. So we used to stream after the kids went to bed. What is this YouTube thing? Why do everyone feel safe? I don't feel safe. Just go away. YouTube has become so gay. And yet, that's where all the eyeballs are. You have to work with it. One day it won't be like that. Until then. So, 4 minutes in, we'll probably give it a little more time. I already showed you Rosie, and the cat's hiding from me, the little turd. But this is the abode. I hope you got the leather books in the background. The Pendragon series up there that I'm not... I had all 6 books, but several moves later, I think I've lost a couple, which saddens my heart, but hopefully they're in our storage. But yeah, I'm a little nervous about what's going to happen with the movies. The Daily Wire isn't exactly a force for good, and I worry about the production quality I see in it. It's also not a surprise that they kind of went with the Pendragon cycle. Don't get me wrong, I have read and reread. I love those books. There's some great stuff in it, but there's also some stuff that I can see a subversive force used against people, shall we say. I am really worried that the audio is not coming up. I don't use this mic enough. So if anyone comes in, let me know if the audio sucks. We do have a better mic, but it's on the other computer right now. You can actually see it in the corner. I'm going to have to create a method for moving it over here for the streams, I think. Eventually, probably get a better webcam. This one is grainy. Very grainy. Well, we work with what we got. So, if you are at this stream because you watched one of my other videos or previous stream, whatever, and you've accepted Christ as your Lord, and this is you wanting to take things more, you've accepted Christ, you have no idea what you're doing, like you're coming at this square one, this is where I want you to start. This is good. And it's going to be clearing out idols in your life. And this is also good for, if you're just renewing your faith after watching those videos or just need to re-strengthen yourself or whatever it is, you've been weakened through all the attacks and whatnot. This is a good place to go to because this is one of the traps of the devil that'll just seep in over time. It doesn't seem that important. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But trust me, it'll get you in ways. It'll block blessings. It'll block, block God's blessings. It'll stop God from enabling his plans with you because you're sharing the glory, if you will. You are not glorifying God by allowing idols into your life. And I'm going really old school with this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to do what your grandfather's pastor did, was say, you fish too much. You watch football as your idol, sir. You allow it to control your life. Oh, my wife's very excited for this. No one's here now, but one day people will be, and they'll watch this video. So say hi, wife.
Hi.
Yes, this is Mrs. Grizzly. Well, I guess we can go. The name is... Hi. She pulled me over. This is Mrs. Dowdy. We can actually use our real names now at this channel. There was a time where we were trying to protect family from any stuff. And then family spat in our face a lot. So, no more of that.
Both sides.
Yeah, sure. There ain't much point in hiding our names now. Where was? Oh yeah, I was warning.
About fishing.
And those grandparents, you've been in those evangelical circles. Like, you, sir, you make too many model trains and it's taken away from Christ. Quick, throw another 20 inside the offering plate. That's not enough. Put a check for like 20% of your life. It's the only way, You know what I'm talking about. If you've grown up in the church, you've had it all the time. It's this mentality that when the first command, technically the first commandment's in Genesis, but in the 10 commandments that God gave man, the first thing on God's list was, you will serve no other God but me. This was very important. He made it numero uno. He has destroyed Israel, his own chosen people, many times for it. And for some reason, there's this whole wave of evangelicals and Catholics alike and all these people who just think it doesn't happen. For some reason, or think that it's the spirit of idolatry. Could you do me a huge favor? Could you look this up on your phone and make sure that we're getting audio? Because I see the little bump, but I'm worried we're not getting any audio. This is
the microphone. Where's the microphone coming from? There.
It's the webcam.
You selected it for that webcam.
I've seen the bump, so it's actually giving some sound.
And it's not coming from the headphones.
No, I don't even have those plugged in. Sorry, technical issues. This is why you want to start your streams with nobody actually watching you, so you can figure all this stuff out. And everyone, yes, we will have to put her face on a mug someday. What would you think of that? Yes. It's perfectly fine.
Yes.
Excellent. That's way better than I thought it would be. I was worried it would be real quiet. You can tell that I'm a guy who's done this before because I know the various pitfalls that happen.
Just look at his channel.
Yeah. No, you say I unlisted a lot of those. I was telling them about that. But we have someone. The first, pat yourself on the back. You're the first one.
That's what
it was.
YouTube has messed with our numbers. See, it's gone.
Yep, that was you. So many times. We're so used to it. We're vets now, baby. We're vets. But again, we're rolling back into this, and this stream's going to be more important for people getting restarted in their faith and getting plugged in and beginning again. So again, we're again and again and again and again.
Sharpen your blades again.
Like all the pastors of my youth, let me pick my one word that I'm going to repeat 5,000 times.
At least
again, and hallelujah. If you're new, my wife and I, we have been in the church our whole lives. Our parents were missionaries.
Mine were missionaries 2 generations back.
Yeah, the leadership, all kinds of stuff. So we have seen the ins and outs, the bads, the goods, slaps in your face, the strange connections to various government stuff that seems weird. We can talk about that another time. But this modern materialistic boomer world, right? In their minds, the best way to look at them is they're atheists with benefits, with spiritual benefits. But basically, they think all this spiritual stuff is, that's quaint, that's nice. You can remember the great grandmas during the Satanic Panic. I'm aging myself here for all the new generation. My memory was, and we're saying was it Satan? And the funny thing it was. Hilarious thing. My mom thought Pokemon was satanic.
That the Pokemon were demons.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that.
I think that
was my mom with Yu-Gi-Oh.
I think that Yu-Gi-Oh, there's a case.
Definitely,
they're using some real imagery in there. Pokemon though, we're kind of stretching things. I mean, we could argue
they do have the jinx.
Animal abuse.
The jinx that's supposed to.
You want a jinx dance for us, babe?
It does dance to distract. It does dance to distract.
I'm distracted.
It's like the entity.
Someone came by and liked us and left.
Drive-by shootout.
Drive-by liking. I like them.
It's not the first time though.
Maybe they'll go back or they're here and YouTube's trying to say they're not here. That's why you should always hit the like button so I know you're here. And even when YouTube tells me you're not here, I know you've been here. Yeah. It's also fun. Builds my ego. That probably shouldn't be built too much. Glory to heaven.
Shirt. Talking about our shirts, I didn't know we were matching until the screen.
Holy crap, we are.
It's like we're married or something.
Now, it's really hard to see on the screen, but this is actually Psalms 91. My favorite spiritual warfare verse. It's gotten us through some rough times with God and whatnot.
And if you've been dealing with idols in your past, this is a great one to keep them away from you for a while.
In spiritual warfare.
Because they will try and come back. So every time, say the prayer.
And we're back on point out of nowhere. Wasn't expecting that. And that is one of the main reasons why this is such a big deal with God, that this is spiritual warfare. Your souls are under constant, not necessarily, it's a lot of attack, but like constant manipulation by the other side. There are entities that want it and will go about any tricky, underhanded way to get it. They don't care how they get it, they just want it. I mean, they'd prefer if you flat out praised them and sacrificed babies to them, but they don't mind tricking you into it either. Their preference is like full tribal, throw the baby into the burning bowl kind of mentality. That's their preference because you're 100% on board. You're not being tricked. There's no ignorance involved.
Modern day, it's abortions.
Even there, though, there's a lot of, like, you'd be surprised. There's a whole thing of witches. Don't look it up unless you're ready to be disturbed. You might. Okay, if you're new, don't look it up. If you need, basically, there's a bunch of witches who go on the internet telling people how to turn their abortions into human sacrifice. Now, I'd say, there's trickery in the allowance of that, and there's still like smoke and mirrors around it, but it also kind of shows you that the movement was never about helping women. Never was. And how could it be when you're killing women in the womb, ironically? It's kind of one of the most nonsensical mentalities. More like whatever woman's alive in that moment. Anyway. But again, there's still some smoke and mirrors there. right? They want the full Aztec, everyone's on board, throw the kid down the pyramid kind of thing. That's what they want. But they'll settle for the smoke and mirrors. You're allowing them in without knowing what you're doing or not accepting that it's even possible, kind of thing. And this is why idols, actual idols, and screaming children. I have no idea if Mike picked that up.
It'll be fine.
We have children.
We have 4.
They're beautiful and wonderful. We might bring them on someday.
When they're older.
When they're a little older, because you shouldn't.
Much older.
Yes. Or maybe even when there's a physical church involved with this, since they'll be seen at the church. But,
Let us know when.
yeah. See, this is how you know you marry a good grizzly bear mama. It's like he hinted at her children and anything that might be negative towards them, and she's already kind of.
Yeah.
Good.
You.
See how serious she's staying? I'm not doing it right
I
now.
put my resume in to be an angel to revenge for the young. I had no say. I put my resume in already.
That sounds weird, but what she's saying is if we have jobs in heaven, she wants that job. And I'm all for it. I like it.
She got pretty much story.
One day people will understand that I'm the nice one with us.
Yeah.
I'm the more angry one, to be fair, but she's the nicer one. It's true. Yeah. So I've been kind of hinting at it and jumping around it, but the problem with idols, actual physical idols, and this could be like an image on the wall, it could be a painting, it could be a physical statue that you brought over, a Buddha statue that you just thought was kind of cool, that you bought at a little antique stand or something.
Anything that merchants use to try and get money in.
Or even something from pop culture that's referencing something kind of nasty, if you know what I mean. Something subversive.
Whatever. Sorry, it's too close to home.
This stuff is a spiritual blank check to come into your life. And worse, God will often withhold your blessings, because if he blesses you while you have that in your house, then he shares the glory with it. And he doesn't share. He'll keep you alive, but he's not gonna, as long as there's a chance that an idol can kind of grasp some of that glory away, he's not going to give it away. He'll keep you alive, but you're not going to feel blessed. And that's a big deal. And the reason why pastors and stuff of the past didn't think this was as important was because for a long time in America, all this stuff was so underground. Christianity was so strong that they suppressed all of the witchcraft that they had to stay extremely hidden, which was great, by the way. I hope we can get back to that one day. All the pagan stuff, all the woo-woo stuff with the Native Americans, all of that was kind of pushed. Though the woo-woo stuff with the Native Americans, that's just paganism. Okay, I don't care if they answer spirit. No, if you actually follow their stories, they're literally like river spirits. They're just goddesses and gods, and you sacrifice to them. They give you stuff. The Blackfoot, for example, have this whole thing. You bring a close family member that you sacrifice them to this spirit, which is just a god, essentially. It would be like the Mesopotamian people would have just called it a god, and it gives you power of some kind, usually some kind of ability to never die or something like that. And there's actually some interesting stories, but I don't know if that's the stream to talk about. And it gets creepy and weird, and it's one of those things that can creep in and you just don't even expect it. For example, around here we have a lot of Chinese people, and they keep wanting to do this Mooncake festival. And this is a great example.
I go to a museum with,
Bob of it. Yeah. Because in the autumn festival with the Chinese people, we're in like an area with a lot of Chinese people, is this Chang goddess thing. And the whole story isn't that important other than some of the parallels. But the women, right? And this is going to be important when we get into our Bible verse. Women make specific mooncakes for the moon goddess. They serve them to people, and they bless people. Right, and they give them to everyone around them. They partake in it, and it's for this queen goddess associated with the moon. Now, this is important because you have it up here.
I should. Which verse are you looking for?
The parallel verse, my love. What they call it. I'm going to take more time to make sure I'm ready next time.
What they call it, everybody?
Yes, and specifically Queen of Heaven. Give us a moment. Gosh dang, I wanted this whole amazing reveal.
Okay. There's this one right here, and then it mentions it earlier too.
All right. So, and this is in Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 23. Now, if you don't have a Bible, blueletterbible.com is a free resource you can do to look up any verse you want. So follow along that way and get a Bible as soon as you can. Okay? And this verse says, Jeremiah said, Jeremiah is a prophet, if you don't know anything about Christianity. He's one of the major prophets, one of the big boys. Jeremiah said to all the people and all the women, hear the word of the Lord, all you of Judah, who are in the land of Egypt. Thus says the Lord, the host, the God of Israel. You and your wives have declared with your mouths and with fulfilled it with your hands, saying, we will surely perform our... Probably should have done the earlier part.
Okay.
Because that's the part that talks about...
Sorry.
Gosh dang!
Here's the part where they hid it from the husbands.
Okay.
And then...
Okay. Here we go. I'm trying to do a parallel between...
Sorry. Hey, is this right?
Okay, I want to show you something.
Will...
This is briefly me using my wife's Bible.
Stop it!
You see how much it's underlined? Like, what's the point? I mean, I love that she's passionate about it. It's all beautiful, but what's the point of underlining the entire page? If the whole page is underlined, I don't know what's important about it.
Is it this one? But we will do everything that we...
We're trying to describe what they did, wife.
But I'm trying to show you what they did.
I'm showing you.
They did. Okay, look.
This is like those road trips
on
movies. Like
the map where we go.
Okay, so I guess that's close enough.
And then they got this one. I circled where they mentioned Queen of Heaven. Okay, that's what the pink in the circle means. The circle means. Someone's gonna know. You want your Bible?
So what's funny about this is I was like looking it up and she's, I have it right here. And she places it open on her desk. I'm, okay, good. We're ready to go, right?
This is why you double check
This is
before
why you confirm. You trust but verify. All right. I will consume the land.
Yeah, that's got warning done. I don't know. This is what they...
Well, no, right here it says, then all the men who knew that their wives had made offerings to other gods.
So you went sooner?
Well, I want the part where he calls them out for it and says what they're making cakes. Spoiler. It's 44. So funny. Oh, man. This is so annoying. I'm not gonna lie. It's a good thing we have one drive-by like this time. I feel embarrassed. But it's such a good story that makes the connection. I was actually arguing with AI about this not too long ago, and AI.
Did you not bring that up? Because it has the verses up.
No, it agreed in the end. Yeah, I was looking it up, and then again, you put your Bible.
I'm sorry,
it's right here. Ah! Oh. And some of the people who lived in battles, and as for the word that you have spoken to us in the name of the Lord, this is the people talking back to Jeremiah and God. We will not listen to you, but we will do everything that we have vowed, make offerings to the Queen of Heaven, and pour out our drink offerings to her as we did both we and our fathers, our kings and our officers in the cities of Judah and the streets of Jerusalem. For then we had plenty of food and prospered and saw no disaster. But since we left off making offerings to the Queen of Heaven, which includes mooncakes, by the way.
Yeah, 19.
Verse 19.
And the woman said, when we made offerings to Queen of Heaven, put our drink offerings to her, Was it without our husband's approval that we made cakes
Yeah.
for bearing her image
And poured out drink offerings to her. Now, the Queen of Heaven is attached to another entity called Ashtaroth, which is connected through certain other things to an entity known as Lilith. And basically, as you see in the story, right? Jeremiah comes to them and says, stop running. And you should really read all like 43 and 44. You should read both chapters. It's really interesting. And then God has him call them out for their idolatry, for them serving the Queen of Heaven, giving her their offerings and all the rest, and making mooncakes for her. And Queen of Heaven, was associated with moon. It's not mentioned in this verse, but it's connected in other ways. Incidentally, just like the moon festival with the mooncakes and the Chang goddess from China. Just like Ashtaroth, who was associated with the moon, you make mooncakes for. Just like was either Osiris or Osiris was the husband.
Osiris.
Oh, Osiris was the husband. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But there was his wife was the moon goddess.
And he was like the god of the dead or something.
Yeah, and it's always connected. So
the pyramids.
You see how these entities aren't in just one place. They push their stuff into every culture they can get their little fingers in. And they have similar names. They're associated with similar things. And then they'll sneak it in. Like this sneak in. Like this is a church that was handing out these mooncakes.
Yeah, we'd get them, and then my mom would bring it home, or my grandpa would bring it home, and
for
I eat
years.
it. And they taste disgusting.
Multiple generational pastors and
they
missionaries.
would always go out of their way to go buy more if they wanted. Like my mom loved it.
It's right here.
She felt more connection. She's like, I was born in August during their,
Her mom has like PhDs in biblical studies and stuff. And somehow this verse never caught her attention. But this may seem small, but this is huge. You see how this works, right? What did they say? They said, we're going to continue our vows because we were prosperous when we were doing these sacrifices. See, they gave this entity, the Queen of Heaven, glory over God. They had, instead of saying God was the reason why they had prosperity and then he took it away when they started worshiping this, they started saying, when we were worshiping this, we were prosperous and nothing was wrong. So we're going to continue worshiping. Right? This is why God doesn't suffer to have anybody up there with him. This is why this is so important. It's because they'll sneak in and start messing with your blessings. They'll start messing with your protection, your spiritual protection. Your spiritual protection is tied not only to who your daddy is. So are you God's child? Are you beholden to any of these other entities? And yes, there are many of them. Paul states it quite thoroughly when he says, we fight not against flesh and blood, but against the powers of darkness, the principalities. And he goes through this list of different entities and their powers. Well, not their powers, but get their hierarchy. Right. And I know this is a lot for new Christians to come in, but you need to look into your life and you need to realize you accepted God as your number one. All this other stuff has to go. All of it. And the symbols, even if you're not worshiping the Buddha, you just have a thing of a Buddha or some other, or like some tribal mask from a trip you took to Africa, or even just some a tattoo or something. Like that's really bad. Like you got to check your tattoos. If there's like symbology in your tattoos, they'll sneak stuff into like posters, CD posters, pop art, all kinds of stuff. And this can be used as an excuse to enter your home, as an excuse that I'm part of this. And again, this is important for you young men and women, especially young men, because this can block your blessings. Because God has experienced what happens when he tries to bless and help people who are worshiping other gods at the same time. They have a tendency to think that God is the reason why they're blessed. And God's like, no. You're not going to take any of the glory away from me on this. And this is why the only reason, but there's many reasons why I think a lot of people get caught in this situation where they want to be blessed. They're working hard, but there's just something holding it back. And I won't say that the evangelical people aren't completely wrong, that we can't make certain things in our lives more important to us than God or God's work and whatnot. You can, overindulge in pleasures and all the rest. But again, that stuff is often downstream from the idolatry. Like even a lot of the pleasures in our society, it stems from the subversive forces that have been pushed on everyone that comes from people who are committing idolatry.
What's also interesting too is that, especially in that story, is it started out of fear.
Yep.
And that's why they sin. A lot of times people sin because it's out of fear.
Yep.
Or something,
Right.
And where does that come from? It starts, every emotional comes from some kind of spirit.
Right.
Spiritual thing.
And particularly, both for women who are listening and for men when you start getting married, you have to stay strong on this.
Especially when your women are really emotional. So you don't know they don't know where that's coming from sometimes.
Because women have a tendency to want to take control. And if they try to take control from God, right, these entities can be really, why witchcraft can be so enticing to women is because it gives them the option for control. It gives them a different sugar daddy. A sugar daddy that they feel like they can control. I give you sacrificed children, I give you dead chickens or something, you give me power. See, that transaction to them feels really, and they don't have to improve anything that they are, they just get that transactional power. So you, in the story, right, the women particularly were saying, I should have read the whole thing, but there's this whole section where they say, did the men not know what we were doing when we were making the mooncakes? When we were pouring out offerings. Now the men were too weak to tell them to shut up
or stop doing it.
Yeah, right.
Because it later on tells them that the Lord says, I'll want, for your evil. It's like he will go down the list. Like you had the men go get the wood. You had the men chop the wood for the fire, and you had the children bring it. So nobody's getting out of this.
Right. And
all why? Because a woman said for them to do it.
Right. And no one was willing to say no. And again, they're tempted by it because they want that control. They want that stability. And God doesn't always feel very stable. And quite frankly, though, he is a rock and you can become that, he'll call you down in hard paths. My wife has been a trooper. She has not been in a stable situation for probably 2 to 4 years now. I am immensely impressed with her. She is awesome, and I love her for it. But understand, this is where that temptation for witchcraft comes, because God's a process. God will put you in positions where you do not feel secure, and you have to depend on him. The witchcraft gives them that option. The idol will, say, hey, you feel safe? Here's all this stuff. Just worship me instead. I won't challenge you. Right? Here's some more power. Oh, you got to do something a little nastier this time to get that power. Ooh, I love that. And then the next thing you know, they go down the list and they're horrible people. But there's kind of a side story there. This is why, especially to new Christians, I want to bring this up very early. You need to cleanse your life of imagery. Owls could be bad. It depends. Not every image is bad, but you might need to just get rid of everything just to make sure. You gotta get all this stuff, all these things.
The carved images first.
Yeah, claiming you instead of God. You got to get them out of your life, because the entities behind them, the demons behind them, they want your worship. They want to distract you, and they'll take any piece they can. And God will not suffer to have his blessings have any sort of credit go to the demons. And they're really good at being tricky, and the entities behind them. And as we've shown, they're in every culture. This Ishtar goddess, right? The version of it, the Queen of Heaven, the Babylonian version is Ishtar. The one in Egypt is Osiris's wife. The one in China is called Shang, something goddess, and she makes mooncakes. And each place, it's the same thing. Mooncakes associated with the moon. The women make the moons and make the moons. The women make the cakes and give them to everybody. And it's supposed to bless everyone. Blah blah blah, and pour out drink out. Right. It's the same style worship for the same entity all over the world. This is how they sneak in. And again, right? This was a church of multi-generational pastors who were letting these mooncakes happen. The very same mooncakes that destroyed these people. These people went to Egypt after this and were utterly annihilated.
Is it funny they went to Memphis, Egypt?
Yes. Oh, by the way,
Memphis, Tennessee, Memphis, Mississippi has the
a giant pyramid with an eye on it. Yes, but we don't want to get too conspiratorial here.
But
the
they
point
seem to
is,
seek their way through things. Huh?
Yeah, that's why you got to watch for the symbols. You got to get rid of those things that can be idols, because when they're in your home, it acts as a spiritual catch-all passport. You are allowing them in. They have a right to be here. And until you tell them to leave, and you use God's power to tell them to leave in a lot of cases, they're not leaving.
And the longer they've been there, the harder it is to fight there.
And God is not going to share your home with anything like that. It's him or nobody. Like, he might accept the process of you getting this stuff out of your life, but eventually it's going to be all him or nothing. And this is why we talk about it with new Christians first. And this is why Christians that have already been Christian for a while need to hear it, because it can be a lot of different things.
This is why I don't like souvenirs.
Yeah. We have this stupid mentality that, oh, these trinkets from the third world or other places are trinkets. Oh, look, these Native American trinkets. Oh, that are very fancy. Let me put something over my bed that's supposed to catch dreams. I will smack all of you for this crap. These Native American tribes in particular are just pagan. All right, just call them what they are. They are pagan tribes. They're no better than the Greek pagans. They're actually much worse, because the Greek pagans at least made a lot of cool stuff and, built things. The Native Americans just made crappy art and woo talk and named people like Neanderthals, Sitting Bull, Rat-faced McGee over here. At least the Irish at least were a little more creative in that. And so I have this problem with my family, who is uncle very against witchcraft, but for some reason very positive against Native Americans.
He was talking about their art one time with me, and I said, "Oh, you mean those savages over there?"
With the black magic.
Oh, with the black magic, those savages with the black magic. It's like, oh, but that was a different time.
These entities are still here.
Doesn't matter.
Get it? If a culture has witchcraft in it, don't allow the witchcraft. Now, is that saying that Native Americans can't adapt their culture and become Christian and change the images that drive out the evil? Yes,
they're humming sounds.
But they don't, do they? Hundreds of years, and they have utterly rejected Christ. And you say, oh, the white man treated us bad. The Aztecs were treated much worse, and they're like all Catholic right now, bro.
Thanks to the Spaniards.
What's the excuse of the Comanches? Oh, yeah, we were jerks to absolutely everyone, and somebody finally smacked us around for it. Guess we're going to hate them forever and curse their name. Comanches. Yeah, if you don't know about the Comanches, it's a funny little side history. They were all the short little people that everyone hated, and they were short and ugly, and all the tribes around. Yeah, and all the tribes hated them, so they abused the crap out of them and tortured and crap, all this other stuff. Then they were given horses and guns by the Spanish, and they started to annihilate everyone and proceeded to be the most violent, torturing, raping bastards, I will cuss for this, in the Native American plains. So bad that there goes a cat and a dog. So bad, this is why Texas exists, because the Texans were white boys from the United States and other areas who were transplanted by the Mexican. I think it started under Spain and was continued under Mexico. I don't want to fudge this too much. There, to be a buffer between them and the Comanche, because the Comanche were that violent and crazy, they would rather give up land for a buffer between them and the Comanche. Funny enough, this is what led to the Texas War, because the Santa Anna was worried that the white people there were going to rebel, and so he wanted to take their cannons away and their defenses, which would have meant that they would have been raped and pillaged and destroyed by the Comanche. What Santa Anna was trying to do was kill off the white boys. He was trying to massacre the white people there via the Comanche by disarming them, knowing full well what would happen. Which is why they rose up. That's why the Texas War happened, because they didn't want to die. Funny, people don't bring those little nuances into things very much, do they? They're just like, oh, this was Mexican land. No, it was under the borders of Mexico, but it was white people settled there. They built all those towns and cities, not the Mexicans, not the Spanish. And they let them build them there so that they didn't have to fight the Comanche. And then they tried to kill them via Comanche. Hilarious. Yeah, anyway, your history lesson aside. As I brought up with the Blackfoot legend and all these other things, there's lots of human sacrifice, there's lots of nasty stuff in Native American cultures. And those entities are still here. They're still connected to a bunch of stuff, and they want their worship, baby. And the fact that Native Americans have rejected Christ to this day as peoples, because peoples get punished too, just like our generations are going to get punished for our evil, just like the generations of Egyptian Christians before the Muslims came were actually going down this tranny route, apparently. Like there was this whole, I got to do more research on it, but I've been tickling it, where they were complaining that like these the scribes and priests were saying that that the Muslims were winning because you go out in the streets and there would be guys dressed in women clothing and acting like women and all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh, so sexual sins and whatnot. And what do you do?
Now?
Mm-hmm.
In the States.
Yeah.
It's happening in Texas now.
Yeah.
Supposedly there's rumor of the God of War being the statue.
The Hindu. Statue. The Hindu one.
Yeah.
So this stuff is real. You allow things into your life when you shouldn't. Get rid of your Buddha statues. Get rid of your monkey god statues.
Any of them, no matter what.
Any of it gone. Unless it is like a straight up image of David or something, and you better not be worshiping it. Like we'll get into the. I love Catholics, the true Catholics. I love the true Coptics, but we have problems about the Mary statues and things, right? Get rid of it. And if you have a question about it, probably get rid of it anyway. Because let me tell you, these entities will use it against you.
Get out.
Yeah, they will use it against you, and they will slowly get between you and God. This spiritual stuff, 100%. Why this is the first one we're going to talk about. First episode of this spiritual thing is the spiritual war is real. You've devoted yourself to God, and now you're a target. And they're going to do anything they can to make you a useless Christian, to make or even put you in a place where you lose your protection and die, like physically die. And this sounds like I'm being hyperbolic. No, Hansen. No, that's the historian. Poop. Dr. Heiser. Thank you, Dr. Heiser.
Late Dr. Heiser.
The late. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was one of the writer of
Unseen Realm. Sorry.
Look, she's heard me talk about this. And 100% was shining light on a lot of the stuff that the evangelical church and the Catholic church, all of the stuff that they were ignoring with these, how the Bible actually handles false gods, dark gods, and evil gods that are up against Jesus Christ and God, right? And demons and what they are. And he, out of nowhere, just gets cancer and dies really quickly. Now,
pretty sad.
Keep in mind also, I don't even have to call spirituality on that, because this is a real thing. CIA has a heart attack gun, and they only showed it they just randomly in the 1980s. They just showed everyone, oh yeah, hey, we got this heart attack gun. It shoots you, you get a heart attack, you die. We had a little dart. It was completely unrecognizable on things. Now, why do you think they were willing to tell people about that? Probably because they had a new method for killing people that looked completely natural. Didn't
but they? COVID.
Yeah, right, but more than that's that. Right. And no offense, we've known various things that give people cancer for ages now. Is it so hard to think that someone mixed some stuff into his drinks or enough times to kill him off? And you say, well, why would he be? Because he's revealing this. And I think in this case, it was much more of a spiritual attack. And because he didn't take things as seriously, he didn't recognize giants as giants, for example. I fear that they were able to wiggle in and break his connection enough to God that they had an opening. And they will physically take you out. I really get annoyed with people who have this mentality that they think, oh, every dead Christian is another martyr to the faith and another blow to the devil. If it was that, He would never kill a Christian, ever, for any reason. Okay? If he didn't get any kind of victory out of killing the physical flesh, then he would never do it. Ever. So, you need to understand this war is spiritual and physical. Right now, you need to worry more about the spiritual. I'm sure as things start collapsing around us, like is that, it's funny when I started the YouTube thing. Even earlier, when I was looking into this stuff, it was more controversial. I don't think it's controversial to say that the United States is about to collapse anymore. I think we all just kind of know. We kind of sense.
On some level, yeah, people know.
Yeah, people know.
Some level.
So I'm not being controversial when I say the physical fight's coming. And God's ready for it. You need to be ready for it. But right now, the spiritual part's more important because it can translate into physical things far faster than you think. On the smallest level, it can hold back God's blessings. On the most intense level, you can get a disease and die. On the more
under heart attack like my mom.
Yeah. Witchcraft, all kinds of stuff is real and can affect you. There's a reason why God's unhappy with it. There's a reason why Christians for decades or centuries have tried to suppress and destroy it because they saw the connection and the evil around it. When these obnoxious, shall we say, members of the small-hatted community started making things like Monty Python and the Holy Grail, right? That was not a mockery of medieval lands with that. That was just a mockery of Christianity. That's all it was. Hey, come here. You need to sell your picks too, kitty.
Flea-bitten animal. Get my hair out of your fleas.
So, and they use that mockery and that allowance because we let it into our culture to slowly eat away at the culture, letting things in.
This is how you know you've been here for a long time. Sorry.
What's funny about this cat is we got him right when our fourth child was a baby. And
they're the same age.
You don't expect this, but when you have a small little kitten and you're holding the baby, you just get a habit after holding the baby. You pick up the cat and you just hold them the same way.
Especially if the cat is on top of the baby when you're trying to nurse or
Well, what happens like, hey, here's the baby, and then there's this little kitten
or fall asleep in your arm. Yeah.
He wasn't this big. He was like the size of my hand, and he would like sit on my shoulder and then be the baby nursing the cat right there. Anyway, he got used to being held like that.
And then he stole the binkies.
Ate them all. Vicious.
Sorry, you're on a very important tangent.
And I think I just said most of what I want to say about it. It's pretty to the point. It can affect you as little as blessings, being blocked by them, or being claimed by them, and so God stops blessing. Because remember, He's not going to let them take credit for what He's done. Or it could go as intense as physical destruction of your body. Right now, another guy's going through it. The confessionals, it's usually handling more creepy stuff, but he's very much Christian. He's becoming more of a pastor right now too. And, he handles the creepy stuff to show people the witchcraft, the weirdness out there, so that people recognize it.
He has interviews with people about it.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's always right. I'm just pointing out he's becoming more about it. And his wife is now
has breast
cancer, and this is the stuff you have to deal with. All right, as I've established, this isn't even that crazy. We could. It's not that far from an understanding that man could give another man cancer. And very soon to the point that I'm sure they're going to come up with a different way to kill people. And then, CIA is going to come to one of these hearings and go, hey, look, we have this cancer gun. Yes, I don't know exactly what happened, but my guess is the heart attack gun became less effective because people were starting to realize there were a lot of weird heart attacks out there, and they got a new method. And so they were willing to reveal the old method. I just meowed him. Whoops. Anyway. So.
You look like that.
So, lesson number 1 of the deep dive on these streams for you to start building your faith more as a new Christian or to rebuild as an older Christian. Get rid of all the idols in your life, the physical idols of goddesses, gods, things that could be coming. It could be coming from pop culture. It could be coming from Buddhism. It could be coming from Islam. Islam doesn't have many physical images, but they can have things like even having a Quran in your house can be seen as
or a Book of Mormon.
Yeah, it can be. She's looking at me because I was studying the Book of Mormon. She told me to get rid of it, and she was right. I was doing it intellectually because I wanted to know what the hell was going on with that thing, and we definitely had some spiritual mumbo jumbo happen because I had it around. You got to be careful with books. So books do need to be studied, but you might not want, like, first of all, if you're a young Christian, don't touch the really hairy stuff right now. Concentrate on Christianity, okay? You don't need
Build
to be
your protection up, stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Keep it simple, stupid. All right. Start with
There you
Christianity.
go.
Stick with Christianity. Take, like, for now, I'm not saying there isn't good philosophy and things you can learn in other cultures or other religions and all that. What I'm saying is you need to concentrate 100% on Christianity right now and nothing else. Get rid of all the other stuff because you don't know. You do not have the Spirit of God fully on you that you can hear properly. That'll help you winnow the spirits. To help you figure out which spirit is coming from God and which spirit is
discernment.
discerning spirit. Spirit.
Discernment, the spirit. Yeah, the gift of discernment. You
need to
give it to
build
us.
that. Yeah. And you don't want to allow anything yet. Okay? Mormonism, I can tell you right now, it was started by a false angel. Okay? Devil was an angel at one point. Islam, same way. Fake Gabriel came in. Also, in his story, like he's about to commit suicide, then he chickens out. Then this angel appears to him. This is Muhammad. And Muhammad's like so scared of this because rather than like every other angel in the Bible that's coming to talk to people, this angel apparently like picks up Muhammad, starts choking him, throwing him against the wall. You know, because when Joshua was looking out over Jericho, Jesus, the angel of God totally just came up and slapped him upside the head and started beating the crap out of him. No, okay, that's not what happened. We don't have a single story where an angel is beating the crap out of someone that he's not there to like kill or something. Right? Plenty of angels kill people when they're messaging. They're not.
They're a messenger. They're not.
The only thing you can remotely get close to this is Jacob wrestling the angel, but that was Jacob jumping on the angel trying to stop him from leaving. It wasn't the angel saying, "Hey, let's wrestle." Okay, it's a little different. It wasn't like, "Oh man, my life is so miserable. I want to die, but I'm too chicken and cowardly. Oh well, God, what is this thing?" But that might have been a sign. And it says that he was so terrified, he was shaking, and he ran home, and he asked them to cover him in blankets because he was terrified. And this is Arabia, boys. He wasn't like, no, just cover him with blankets because he was just shaking so bad from the fright of it all. Right? Now, angels can be very terrifying. Read Daniel chapter 10. But they're usually, though, don't be afraid. They're not throw you against the wall like the drug addict next door. It's just not. Unless they're there as, you're an enemy of God, they're not going to necessarily be throwing you against the wall like that. And it only gets worse. There's actually connections to Baal. There's this whole weird episode where they're sacrificing camels and they refer to Allah as Earthball. So it gets weird. The point is, Earthball in old language is like your ball. And if you don't know, that's the dude with the bull horns. They throw children into the barn. And yes, there's an idol inside Mecca that they don't usually want people to talk about. Idolatry.
What's interesting too is like how a lot of supposedly religions have supposedly a body of something linked to them or whatever.
True. Well, that reminds me of the theory that a lot of mummies were just jerky for giants. That's a funny one. That's not here or there. Beef that was just like snack for when they woke up after the flood.
Oh gosh. I don't
know what to make of that. Make of that what you will. That one's a funny one. That one could be like a creepy talk one day. The what ifs and the not part of Christianity.
Don't eat beef jerky when you.
Don't eat human jerky. So I got a little distracted. So again, the idolatry can also be things like books that have spirits associated with what's been going on inside them. I had this problem, not just the Book of Mormon. There's I don't even want to tell you guys the name of the book because I don't want you to look it up until you're much stronger.
Not wait out there. You wait over there.
I really gotta. I gotta wrap this up. We gotta get this kids to bed soon and stuff. But for me, it was looking up the Book of Giants. I didn't even have one. I was just looking it up. So don't look it up right now if you're a new Christian. Okay, don't look it up. You easily invite something in if you're not careful. So don't bite off more than you can chew right now. Just get rid of everything and concentrate on God. Get rid of all the symbols, all the images, like if you have any grimoires, you have anything, like I have to say this now. Like when I was young, like the idea that someone just had a book about witchcraft sitting on their shelf was like unthinkable, right? It would be the most like someone came back from a missions trip and they brought some kind of mask that they shouldn't have brought from Africa or something stupid. But nowadays, I actually have to like tell people these witchcraft memorabilia, get it out of your house, okay? It's not good. I don't care if you think it looks cool. Get it out. Gone. All right?
Oh, yeah, I remember in one of the drawers in my grandparents' house, I saw like a bell with the little witch on a broomstick. Chuck that in the trash.
And again, this is, we'll get into Halloween in another episode. We're an hour in. I think we need to wrap things up. But yes.
Just an hour?
Just an hour. Woo! And here we go. So this is what I want to impose on you guys. I really recommend. I do want you guys to read that whole story in Jeremiah 43 and 44. But there's also, if you're a new Christian, I don't know if Jeremiah is the best one to jump on right off the bat. It's some heavy stuff. But if you're feeling adventurous, just read those chapters for now and see the connections to some of the modern stuff I talked about, like the mooncakes, the China Chain Goddess, and whatnot. The big one, get rid of all those symbols, devote yourself to God and God alone. If you have to, get rid of some books. You might even be able to bring some of those books back, like when you're a stronger Christian and whatnot. Maybe keep them at the library or something. Like, there's value in research, but you gotta remember books can be used as a way to allow spirits in. It's just life. They're connected to the things you're talking about. You start researching them, and they go, "Oh, this is an opening. You're looking for me, huh?" You're like, think about. Remember, most of what evil does is a twisted inversion of God. So they copy him all the time, right? Let's say you start reading the Bible for a little bit, right? It entices you to find God and all the rest. Well, the inverse of that is a demon using a book with ideas to entice you to think about him. So right now, especially when you're young in your faith, you need to just get rid of all that stuff and concentrate on God. It's actually, modern pop culture makes it seem like it's impossible to just find stuff that's clean and doesn't have any weird imagery in it, but it's not that hard. I just played a bunch of Age of Empires too. There might be some symbols, but for the most part, it's fine.
Skyrim? No, thank you.
I like Skyrim.
I know you do,
but we want to remake it, yes.
Remake it.
But there's more things like in Dark Souls, more like all those things have a lot of crap in them. But
basically, video games that
the point is, right now, especially when you're building your spirit of discernment, when God's giving it to you, you need to concentrate on Him and get this stuff out of your life. It's good for the returning Christian too to refresh and clean house and figure out what you can handle, what you can't handle. I actually do kind of give Catholics credit to I don't and I do. They have this mentality of like the libraries where not everyone should be reading it. I think there should be something to, because we need these things to know what the enemy's doing. Like, if I didn't know about the Chain Goddess, I wouldn't understand so thoroughly what's wrong with those mooncakes, right? How would I have known if this stuff hadn't been written down and I hadn't read it? So it's an annoying issue where the information needs to be passed down, but it can be a snare. So,
and supposedly the husband of that moon goddess is the spirit is supposed to be protected by the terracotta wars.
Oh, that one.
That's how I found out all that was because somebody wanted us to go to the museum to see the terracotta wars. I'm like, no, thank you, because if you look up what the terracotta wars were supposed to protect and everything, and then you find out later that's his wife that's in the moon, and she hides her beauty. That's a full story.
I mean, can she be hiding her beauty if she's mooning us all night long? On that note, I'm gonna stop repeating myself.
What the ending?
Get rid of those idols. Concentrate on God. Oh, I will give you guys some homework for next week. We are going to be talking a lot about Old Testament and this beginning stuff because we need to get you guys a foundation for what you're dealing with. Why Jesus Christ coming and dying on the cross was so major and shook the foundations. If you don't have a foundation for why it's important, what are you even doing? But I think it's really important that you start reading the Gospels and start hearing Jesus Christ's words firsthand. So, your homework for this week, and I'm going to be really generous with this. I just want you to read Luke. We're going to start with the Gospel of Luke. I'm not telling you to read the whole Gospel. I could, but I won't make you read the whole Gospel. I'm thinking to chapter. That's too far.
Such small print.
It's beautiful. It helps me not become a boomer too early. Yeah, let's go with chapters 1 and 2, and we'll briefly talk about it in the first part of the next live stream. And that way you guys are getting New Testament gospel, Jesus Christ's words as soon as possible, but we're also building the foundation at the same time. So,
Luke 1 and 2.
Yep. First homework, read chapters 1 and 2 of Luke, and then also cleanse your house and your life of any idols and images and all the rest and books that might be leading you astray and all that stuff. Get rid of it. Okay? And concentrate on God. Just don't research other religions right now. Don't research other goddesses or anything like that. Even if you're doing it from the perspective of, I want to fight them better or whatever. No. Right now, this time is for you to build your time with God and Jesus Christ. So get rid of all of it. Research can come later. So, yeah. I need like a proper outro and everything. But thanks
Like, subscribe. If you want to watch more videos.
Suppose.
Everybody does that, but we're different. So forget that.
Hey, you subscribe, obviously. There's the link in the description if you want to support us and keep the ministry going around here. And I will catch you next week. Oh, one last thing. If you're wondering why we're going with the book of Luke, the book of Luke, the gospel, is the first part. The second part is Acts. So we'll be going from Luke into Acts. So you get the gospel and Jesus' story, and you get right, though I would argue the Old Testament was all a part of Jesus' story, but we'll get into that. And we get right into the early church and everything that happened there. So you get a nice foundation in your first little lesson into the church. All right. All right. We'll see you guys next time. You're all awesome. Everyone wave at my wife. Wow, she looks really awkward there. That was good.
What?
And Grizzlies/Dowdies are signing off.
All right.
Oh, the children are crazy.